New Icy Hot. Nighttime recovery. Relieves pain at nighttime while your body recovers. Icy Hot. You're so back.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with a welcome offer of 150,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership, your business can soar to new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, dear listener, for another preview show of the Dockers Debate, looking ahead to tomorrow's game between Erith Town FC and AFC Whyteleafe. At the moment, we have Mr. Rob Grant with me, the Robin to my Batman. Hello, Rob.
Watcher.
Watcher indeed, as always. And we have the social media executive director from AFC Whyteleafe. He's like Prince. He only has one name. It's Adrian. How are we, Adrian?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Lovely intro. I'm going to get slaughtered for that.
No, there we are. That's okay. What we'll do is, just like we said off recording, we'll make sure your gold-plated parking space is ready for you as well.
Yeah, lovely, mate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
if we don't mind. Thanks for coming on such short notice. Looking towards tomorrow's game. Erith Town, we've just played one of the teams in the league who's been relegated, first game of the season. We're now playing one of the teams who's been promoted to the league. Certainly going to be a little bit of a different one. How do we look at the game from a Whyteleafe point of view?
I would say we don't know too much about this league. We sort of know, I think the teams that I'm talking about me, not as a club. I'm sure our coaches will have done some, research and homework and that. But from a fan's perspective, I think if I looked at that league, I would guess that Croydon, Merstham, Beckenham would be around the playoff places. I'm told Sittingbourne are the favourites. I think after Saturday, East Grinstead might be in a bit of trouble. We pumped them 5-0.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll turn it around. But I really don't know what to expect. I've watched you guys season before last when you got past Glebe in the playoffs at Glebe and was impressed with you then. But I'm sure your team's completely changed. So we're expecting a tough game.
Yeah, it's one of those. We was in a bit of a similar boat. Obviously, you've heard of the Margates and the Ramsgates, but Rob will tell you last season it was quite funny. You're like, I don't even know where Stenning Town is, let alone that they've got a team, and things like, again, with like Three Bridges. Well, there's a Five Bridges near us down in Sidcup and like Footscray, but I don't know where Three Bridges is. But yeah, we've got that year experience now. It's one thing I will say, it's a very, very tough league. And I was going to say, how have you found it since you've started? But like we just said off recording, you've had a 5-0 extra prelim win and you've had a 5-0 league win. Can't really start any better than that.
No, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it kind of made up. We had not the best pre-season, but I think in a funny way, I think it's done us a favour. I think if we'd have been walking over teams, we would have probably might have got ourselves a bit cocky, but because we weren't, and we got, it was a bit. So it was a reality check that we need. I think it brought us all in line. It's like, all right, we need to step up here, and we've done that. To be fair, players look they are like laser focused now. So, yeah, we're ready to go. So it wasn't a great pre-season, but as I say, I think in hindsight, it might have done us a favour.
Yeah, the only
I
thing.
think the other thing you got going for you as well is like we had this last season, definitely, which was you were a bit of the surprise package because no one's because you've only just come up and people aren't used to what you're going to do and who your team are and so on and so forth. So pretty much they're going to come in with a blank sheet of paper thinking, well, we'll play our game and we'll see how we get on and see if we can make changes mid-game. But if you get right on it and like you say, if you are focused and dead on it, no one's really known what to expect and you can take people by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we went up, we went in combined counties. I think we were almost like one of the favourites straight away. This time we're flying under the radar, which
Yeah,
is great. We'll take that, and long may it continue. I've seen most of the predictions are having us around about the halfway point, and I would have us. For me, a halfway point finish up to playoff places would be a great season for us. But I know in our setup, they're not gonna. They're not. They're going for promotion. So yeah, we'll see. But as I say, yeah, we're the unknown quantity. But teams will obviously within a month or two we won't be. So we just got to enjoy that moment right now.
yeah. And the thing is, as well, is like Rob will tell you, Erith Town's season last year was very much a season of two halves. The first half of the season, we come out, we had a little bit of a not a hiccup, if you will, but first game of the season leading against Ashford, then started losing, then went back to draw 3-3. Little bit hit and miss at the start, then went on a good run of results, done really well. East Grinstead away, ironically, you had them at home, we had them away last season. We got a great result there, and then up until around that sort of Christmas, New Year time, we were doing pretty well. We was around the top half of the table. I think we was only about 6-7 points off of the playoffs. But then a combination of probably the quality of the league, injuries, sort of fatigue maybe setting in because you've got so many games over short periods of time. There was a lot of games postponed last year. I wouldn't say we got found out, but it started to take its toll. And one thing you're saying about unknown quantities with this league and everything like that, we mentioned it on the Hastings preview and on the Hastings radio the other day. If you don't take this league seriously, you do get punished. Whereas at combined county and Skeffel, you might get away with a few results.
Yeah, well, we didn't. We got found out, and they're in a couple of games. So we've got ultimate respect for this league. Everyone's taking it serious. We know. I think the fitness levels are going to be like crazy compared to what we were at in step 5. We recognise it's going to be tough. But as I say, and everyone, like even on playing East Grinstead, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Win, lose, draw. We had no idea. So, and again tomorrow night, I've got no idea. I don't even know where you finished last year, you boys. How did you do last year?
I think it was around sort of like 16th, somewhere like that last year. We were. What did help us is that the bottom 6 really, Rob, stayed as the bottom 6 for the majority of the season, didn't it? There was a little bit of a risk where if we didn't stop a run we was on, we might have maybe started to look over our shoulders a little bit. But I don't think we was ever under any threat of relegation.
Yeah.
But again, it just goes to show you have a little couple of bad weeks. I think we had a very poor February, didn't we, Rob? Where we couldn't buy a win and we just plummeted. Not to a point where again, like I say, you really start worrying, but you're off the pace of the top half of the table. So it can be a pretty ruthless league. And also, depending on how your fixtures have fell and how the teams are doing, you could have a really bad run in the sense we had Margate, Ramsgate, and Burgess Hill twice. Those 4 games in 6 in a row, and
Yeah.
those 3 teams ended up being the top 3 last year.
Yeah. I mean, so it sounds like you've almost got like a mini league at the bottom, where you've probably got like 6 or 7 teams that are fighting to keep out of the relegation places. And then is that maybe at the top, or is it sort of quite even up?
I'd say so. It was basically Ramsgate and Sittingbourne last year that was running away with it. I think Sittingbourne also missed out the year before. Margate were up there with them up until around the Christmas time. Then they started to fall away, but them and Burgess Hill in third and fourth, they had a lot of points as well and were quite far ahead of the Merstoms. And I can't remember who else was in the playoffs, Rob.
Merstham.
But then you've
Finished
obviously,
fifth.
yeah, they finished fifth. But then you've got the Sheppies who are there.
Yeah,
You've got the Beckenhams who are there. You've got
Deal.
teams there, even if they're not in that top four, top five mix, they'll still definitely bloody your nose.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I looked at you look at the table and you think, I don't know where there's easy games. I mean, you've got
No,
a
there's
great
not.
no,
That's the thing.
no, that's it. I mean, you've got a great knowledge of the league than me. But when I looked at that league table, I'm thinking Beckenham, Croydon, Merstham. You go down and you're thinking there's not really a 3-point banker in there. You know what I mean? It's like
Well,
it
if you
does
look
look a
as
tough
well,
league.
yeah, if you
Sorry,
look as well, I was saying if you look as well with Erith Town last Saturday, there was no way we were favourites going into that game against Hastings United.
Hastings. Yeah,
No, nowhere at all. But we went down there. And okay, they might have enjoyed more possession, and they had a chance where they should have really scored from 8 yards out. But apart from them, Rob, like you were there as well, arguably we had the better chances, didn't we?
Yeah, we had better chances. We had our fair share of possession, to be fair. We did. We defended magnificently, but we didn't go there and sit back. We went and I think we were a little bit cagey for the first five, maybe 5-10. But after that, we realised that they weren't as much of a problem to us as everyone said they were going to be, and we went into it a bit. Now they were stronger, a bit more physically stronger, and they probably had a bit of confidence going into it. But it wasn't long before it was a workhorse game for them. They were desperately trying to get the breakthrough, and we just wouldn't let them. So in the end, the draw, walking away with the draw was a fair result. But if you'd said to us at the beginning of the game, would you take a point away at Hastings, we'd have torn your arm off. So
And the thing is as well is like we called it post match like a defensive masterclass, and everyone's saying how good defensively it was. And Adam made a good point, and I agree with him. And me and Rob said as well, it wasn't a defensive masterclass in a sense. You see these games where you're just defending for your lives kind of thing. They just could not get through. And this
yeah,
is where I think Tuesday will be incredibly interesting because, from my point of view, where Erith need to work on a lot from seeing the extra prelim games and some of the pre-seasons, it's in attack, but we're very, very difficult to break down. So I think this will be a very interesting game. You're coming off of scoring 10 goals in 2 games against a team who last year, I think, Rob, weren't it, we had even the top 12, apart from the top 2 or 3, everyone else in the top half of the table was on negative goal difference except for Erith. Even we was something in 10th, we had a +9 goal difference, and teams above
wow,
us were in minuses. Defensively, we are very, very solid.
yeah.
He's quickly writing this all down because he's an executive media goals.
I've just had some weird message come out. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, so what are you expecting from? Do you think it's going to be a bit of defence against attack tomorrow night and hits on the counter? That going to be that type of game or?
I think you're riding a bit of a crest of a wave in the sense, like Rob was saying there. You've got promote. We'll touch on it in a minute as well, but you've had a lot of drama over the last few months. We'll just talk about we spoke about that before we hit record. But you've had a run at Wembley, which now everyone, that's Whyteleafe Day was at Wembley. You've had BBC articles about how you were fighting for promotion. Are they up? Are they not up? You've had a good pre-season. You've had a great start to the run. And like Rob says, you're the new unexpected package. So I can see you coming at here with quite a bit, and we're going to have to. I'm not saying you're going to go into this as favourites. You might be, but I think it will be a little defence v attack. What do you reckon, Rob?
I think there's every possibility that we'll wait and see what you're going to bring because there's no escaping from the fact that 10 goals in 2 games is something that you've got to be careful of. Clearly, you guys have got goals in you, so we will. I think we'll take a measure of you for the first 5-10, and then we'll go because bearing in mind we are at home, so we'll have our crowd there. So hopefully we'll be able to put on a bit more of a. It won't just be like a defence and counter attack. It'll be a bit more attack than that. But I reckon it'll be a solid game. I reckon it'll be a test for us. But like most teams, like we've got new signings. still bedding in, still gelling, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a little bit. It's not going to be as fluid as it has been last couple of seasons, but it'll definitely be a game for sure. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I was just surprised that you mentioned that we might be the favourites. That's crazy to me that we even might be the favourites going into the game.
I think
you're
you
top
would
of
be.
the
I
league.
think. Yeah, I was going to say you're top of the league and you've scored 10 goals and not let one in.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I
true.
think, yeah, I just think it. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a good game. When
Yeah,
like Rob says is like that Stanmore Stadium, the location of it, the fans there. Not that they're horrible fans, don't get me wrong by any means, but they're good traditional South London fans. The stand is right on top of the pitch, literally above the pitch. It sort of like leans over a little bit. It's not going to be easy for Whyteleafe whether you go in as favourites or not.
no, we're not. No one's expecting an easy
Yeah,
game. And we know the ground well. We've been there a few times playing Thamesmead when we were in Skeffel First
yeah,
Division.
yeah.
So yeah, we know the ground. Pitch is a bit hit and miss. I don't know what it's like at the moment.
Brilliant at the moment. It's
Oh,
like
is it?
St Andrews. You can play golf on it.
All right, so we've caught you at the right time on
No,
that
no,
because
no.
I'm
There's
sure.
holes everywhere. No, I'm just...
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Potatoes. Yeah, that should be a good one. Looking forward to it.
yeah.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Life gets easier with great assists, and State Farm is here to dish one your way. Get in touch over the phone or on the app to get the teammate you need. State Farm with the assist. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Becoming the most valuable sports franchise in the world doesn't happen without risk. A man who's willing to bet it all, and the players ready to make their own luck. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, is the story of the 1990s Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones's impact on NFL history. Featuring interviews with iconic 90s players and more. Watch America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, August 19th, only on Netflix.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
So who? I mean, I've been looking at your goal scorers. Obviously, Hassan is out there in front. I mean, given that it's only at the moment, given that it's only like really a couple of games, an FA Cup and a league. But where do you think? Because it looks like you're spreading them about across the team at the moment. So
Yeah.
so where are you? Who are your danger men? Where are you going to bring the game to us?
So I don't know who our front three will be. It could be 3 of 6. And they're all great players. I mean, we've got Ryan Gondo. You probably know Ryan Gondo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was at Ayr. He's played step. He was at Lewis.
Yeah.
I think he's played step 2. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. So we've got him. He's kind of like our talisman. We've got Dan Bennett, who scored our goal in the FA Vase at Wembley, the winning goal. He was our top goal scorer from midfield. I think he got 24 goals last season from midfield. Creates a lot. And then we've got.
You still got Aaron Watson.
No, Az has gone to. He's at SE Dons now.
Oh, right, okay.
Az is 38. So I think we needed to inject a bit of youth into the team. I think that's maybe cost us a bit at Wembley. Was some old legs. We probably could have done with 1 or 2 fresher legs. But yeah, no. So Az has moved on. But we've got Ryan Hall. I don't know if you know Ryan Hall, ex-Palace Leeds.
Yeah.
He's a top finisher. Then we obviously brought in Eniola Hassan. he's done great. Then we've brought in this season Stefan Illich, who was on Ballers League. I think he scored 12 goals in 11 games on Ballers League. He's looked really promising since coming in. Rodney Aruta we got from Seven Oaks, that you'll probably know.
So who's doing all the defending while all these guys?
We don't. To be fair, the other team don't have the ball much, so it's not really a problem. No, we got a good back line. We've got firepower. We have got firepower. We play great football. We play great football. I mean, we've got arguably we got our captain Helgi, more of a sort of a defensive player midfield. I think he had 24 goal contributions, and he's sort of like more of a DM really, but he still had 24 goal contributions last season.
Yeah.
So we got goals everywhere.
Yeah, you got goals everywhere. Well, I'll tell you what, we touched on it a little bit, and you've mentioned it there. Tell us about the last few months. Obviously, we spoke about it off recording, and it was really quite fascinating. So we won't go too much into the politics of other teams, but fill us in. You had a run at Wembley. You scored at Wembley. Well, I think you went 1-0 up, and then obviously, unfortunately, paid back. But what an experience that must have been being at Wembley. And then you had the drama with the playoffs, because even I remember saying to Rob, Jersey Bulls are up in the league now, but we was looking at that and we're like, will we be travelling to Jersey next year, because there's 3 teams here. We still don't know who's run that league. So fill us in.
Yeah. So I'll go with I'll start off with the Wembley experience. That was incredible. I don't know if anyone's familiar with our history, but briefly, the club was sort of reformed 4 seasons ago. We were at games 4 seasons ago where we had players getting changed at the side of the pitch. We were playing in parks and fields. So for us that were at those games, standing in the middle of a park or a field, shouting our heads off, and then there we are, we're walking out, watching the boys walk out of Wembley. Yeah. It was just mind blowing, and we didn't get the win. But we took 5,000 people there. We've only been going 4 years. Whitstable, fair play. I mean, they took 10,000. Fair play to them. But we've been going 4 years. So that was the whole journey there. Was surreal, and I kept thinking, no. I mean, we were having conversations back in January, like, can you imagine if this? Can you imagine if that? And we were like laughing about it. Yeah. And then we started getting closer and closer, thinking, blimey, this might actually be happening.
It might actually happen, yeah.
And then I'm doing interviews with BBC and things like that. It's like really surreal, crazy. But yeah, I mean, that day was just amazing. So amazing.
For the players walking out at Wembley and all that.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't take it as well as us, because they went there to win. They weren't interested in the day out. They just wanted to win. It's a game. Yeah. They want to win every game. And so they were, they didn't take it so well, not winning. But hopefully they will look back, and they've done something that, 80% of professional footballers in this country will never do: walk out at Wembley in a cup final. So they've got that. They've got that moment. And as I say, it was just an incredible. The journey was amazing, and it was culminated in a fantastic day. So that was great. We had the mixed emotions. I say it was like the down of that. We haven't won it. And then as we've gone into that, prior to that, we had the complete and utter chaos of the league finishing. We were in the combined counties in a 3-way battle with ourselves, Redhill and Jersey. And, we were the 3 teams. We were so far clear of everyone else. But I think probably like 5 games to go, I think there was like a point between the 3 teams. And they had to play each other twice. We had to play Redhill once. So it was getting so much traction and attention from everyone because it was so tight at the top of
Yeah.
that league. No one can see where it was going. So there was a lot of people interested in it. And then it all went bandy. Then we started hearing Jersey were at the top. We started hearing that there was going to be a points deduction for them for fielding an ineligible player.
Yeah, we don't want to get anyone in trouble. We won't go into the politics behind it, but obviously
No, no, no,
that's
no. I
what we
mean,
know what happened.
I'm not going to go too deep in it.
Yeah,
This is all out there.
yeah, of course.
I won't go into the whys and wherefores of what went on, but it's all out there in the open. I'm not
Yeah, of course,
saying
100%.
anything that didn't happen. So that came out of nowhere. So it's like, right, so Jersey could be getting deducted 3 points. Then we hear Redhill are being investigated for the same thing. And as is that both teams right, they chose to appeal. And that prolonged the league then. We didn't, no one knew what was happening. It was sort of like the playoffs didn't happen because no one knew where the teams were finishing. As I said previously, we were still in the League Cup and in the FA Vars, and the league should have finished. And then because we were thinking, right, the league were telling us, get ready, you're in the playoffs, you've got to play playoff games. So we were thinking, right, we played our 23s in the League Cup, and then expecting we're going to be in the playoff games, which would be great warm up for Wembley. And then they're like, yeah, not just yet, not just yet, not just yet. And then so by the time we went to Wembley, we hadn't played a game for 3 weeks because the league was sort of like, you could be playing, you could be playing. So it was all, I mean, it was such a shame for all three teams. You got a feel for Redhill, particularly Redhill, for not going up after doing what they did. Jersey went into the playoffs, and quite rightfully, because it would have been a travesty if they hadn't gone up. They went up through the playoffs. So here we are. We've parachuted into the Isthmian.
So come October, when you make your way to Jersey, it's not going to be so much beef to be had, I wouldn't have thought.
Do you know what? We have a fantastic relationship with Jersey. I think we took about 100 over to Jersey.
Good. Yeah.
Because it was, we were fighting for the title. So we took about 100 over there. And I've got to say, I didn't go. Unfortunately, it's like the only game I missed last season. But they could not have been more welcoming and friendly to everyone. So they made a lot of friends from our side on how they were with us. They were unbelievable. The people of Jersey, the club, the fans, everything, they unbelievable. And anyone that goes there is going to have a great experience. It's a fantastic club.
And sometimes as well, I mean, like, all jokes aside, like as I said, we were looking at it from the outside, and even people at our club, like, you don't realise until you talk to people how many people have got their eyes on it. But like even like Rob and I and a few other people going, can you imagine like being like, I don't want to like make it any worse for anyone who might listen to this, but I was like, can you imagine being the person who made that mistake and hadn't realised, and that's cost you? Like, sometimes human, I'm not saying obviously bend the rules or break the rules, but sometimes it is a little bit like, because a lot of people were slating teams, how could they not know? Sometimes it's just human error. And like, if you've got to register 40 odd players over 60, 65 games, including cups and like replays and league games, and knowing who got booked in, just one little slip has cost you. You must be kicking yourself, really. But it certainly was. As a neutral, it was exciting to watch. Let's just say that. But again, I've just had my little thing flash up, so we ain't got overly that long left. So we'll start wrapping this up. So as we said, there were a couple of games in. I'm a Millwall fan originally, so I always go with the Kenny Jackets. Never really judge the league table until you get to 10, 12 games. How do you think this one's going to go tomorrow? And how do you think that your campaign's going to go over the next couple of months?
If I'm being honest, I haven't got a clue is the answer to both questions. I think we'll know more, in a month's time. I would be able to say, okay, we just haven't got a feel for what we're up against. I think I would like to think we would finish mid-table. upwards, that would be great. Maybe knocking on the door of the playoffs, that would be amazing. Tomorrow night, I'm expecting a really, really, really tough game. I don't think there's going to be much in it. A 1-0, a 2-1. I think it's going to be really tight tomorrow night.
All right, okay, come on. Let's go for it. Gun to your head. What's the score going to be?
For me, what am I saying?
Yeah, what are you saying? Come on. We do score predictions as well, so people laugh at us when we say we're going to win 3-0 and lose 4-1 at home.
5-1 Whyteleafe.
5-1 Whyteleafe. There we are. Yeah, keep the hype.
Another 5 goals for Whyteleafe, but you're going to give us one. Just
I've given you a goal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm meant to be going away over the next couple of days. I'll postpone. If you can guarantee me 6 goals at a football game, I'll put me on the game. Rob, what do you reckon it will be, Rob?
I'm going to go for a cheeky 2-1 to the Dockers.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go a little bit kind for both teams. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think you'll find us hard to break down. But I think we'll have our shooting boots on, but I think we need to tighten the laces a little bit, and I think tomorrow might be the catalyst to maybe get a goal or 2. But Adrian, apologies if I seem like I've rushed that end in there, but like I say, we're just running out a little bit of time. But thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate short notice as well. Obviously messaged you yesterday. Great WhatsApp photo, by the way. On the cartoon.
The GTA, Grand Theft Auto.
The Grand Theft Whyteleafe.
Yeah, that's it. It's like we have a Grand Theft tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, let's see. But we'll definitely get you on for the return leg, the away game.
Yeah, definitely. Sure, no problem.
And,
yeah.
And cool. if you can sort out our parking, that'll be tremendous.
Yeah, you're not. Well, mate, the wars we have with the parking, I'm sure. Mind you, you've got a bit more parking at your place, as is terrible. But I'll see what I can do for you.
Nice one. Cheers very much, Rob. As always, thank you for your time, Rob.
Nice one.
So I'll see you boys tomorrow night. Are you going to be there?
I'll be.
He will be. I will be. I'll probably be playing bingo in Dymchurch, unfortunately. But
living the dream.
Rob will be there, and as usual, Rob will buy you a pint.
Cool. Okay. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Take care, lads.
Nice one. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.